Alright, what is up y'all? We're here today for PCBL Season 8 Draft Analysis. Now, we are a new team to PCBL. It's going to be the PokeCast Battle League. I discovered them kind of on Twitter. I figured, they seem pretty cool, so maybe we'll go ahead and apply. They had some tournaments, which have all been really fun, and I actually won their usually useless tournament. I uploaded coverage of that. It was a lot of fun. Honestly, that shit was fucking clean. So, with that in mind, I decided, fuck it, let's go ahead and apply. We did make it in because one of the guys that actually did make it in had to leave or something along those lines. So you boys in this bitch now, and that's all that matters. Now, with the PCBL, they have a thing where you have to make a new team, and it needs to be a location and Pokemon. There's some other stuff. So as you can see by the thumbnail as well as the background here poorly, we are the Critique City Expert Belts. You know we had to rep that best item with the mascot of Jolteon, because Evel Jolteon's a fucking threat, man. Good God. Now, with Expert Belt being one of my favorite items, Gen 2 being my favorite Gen, and Critique City is the one where you fight all the people with the evolutions, it all just kind of made sense, plus you got that nice purple, it kind of goes with the whole Dahlia Starmie's thing, so, it's cool. So that's going to be our new team name, at least for this league, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now with that, let's go ahead and jump into the draft, but first, you need to know some details, right? So with their draft, you have to take your Mega round 1, and then the rest of the way you take whatever the fuck you want. So I got 4th round pick, which in most leagues would be fucking crazy, and I get something super busted. But you have to take your Mega first round, so that basically meant I just needed to take the best Mega that I could possibly find that would make its way to me. So right off the bat, I realized that with Tapu Fini in Tier 2, I was like, fuck it, we taking Mega Scizor, Tapu Fini. But wouldn't you know it, we immediately get sniped, and Mega Scizor goes, and I still wanted a Steel-type Mega, I still wanted something super busted, so we went ahead and went with Mega Mawile. I have never used Mega Mawile myself, but it looks like a lot of fun. That, you know what is this? This isn't properly showing off these stats here. Let's go ahead and just fix this bad boy. We'll just make you, Mega, we'll just do some on-the-fly editing, shoutouts to me. There we go. So with 105 base attack and the huge power, oh my Jesus, it's so fucking strong. Like, I once saw this thing set up 2 Sword Dances and then Sucker Punch Oko a Tapu Koko from full, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, granted, yes, it is at +4, but that's a resist. Tapu Koko is not frail, and it's amazing, man. Mega Mawile is going to be so incredibly strong. The only problem Mega Mawile really has is that it's not the fastest thing in the world. It does make up for that having priority, as I'm sure you already know, and that typing gives it a lot of resistances as well as a lot of immunities, which is pretty damn cool. So I'm looking forward to Mega Mawile. As you can see, I don't know why, but I got Baton Pass on there, because why stay in and attack something with your threat when you could switch out and get momentum? I don't know, man. I was just excited to see that it got that, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if that's allowed. We gotta do some research, but Mega Mawile is a huge threat. Now, after I got sniped Mega Scizor and decided to take, and while we're talking about snipes, there was a fuckload of snipes happening in here. I think I was only sniped one time. Everything else that I wanted, I think I got. But, I sniped so many people with my draft that I actually changed my name in the server to Chris Kyle, and that shit was pretty fucking funny. So, call me the American Sniper. We out here sniping moffs. Now, to go with Mega Mawile, I wanted to support the team properly, and I wanted the team to support it properly, rather. And I remembered Brendan Dark Devil 26's PMC draft from I think last season, where he had like Mega Mawile, Hoopa Unbound, Web, some stuff like that. So I kind of was like, you know what, that looks fun. Since my team that I wanted isn't really gonna work out, let's just draft that man's team. It looks fun. So, like I mentioned with Tapu Fini in Tier 2, that seemed like a steal to me, so even though we don't have a Tier 1 pick yet, I went ahead and picked up Tapu Fini. Now, I've never used Tapu Fini. I think it's my least favorite of the Tapus. It's the least or third favorite of the Tapus, I don't know. I've never used Bulu either, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Tapu Fini is amazing, man. It is so incredibly bulky. Tapu Fini, I've said this time and time again, Tapu Fini is one of those Pokemon that just loves to sit there on the field and just eat its leftovers. Like, 6% every turn helps out so much. Plus, with stuff like Defog, Haze, Calm Mind, all that kind of shit, it can just sit there and you can't set up on it. It can set up on you. Being a special attacker, obviously it gets any hidden power you want, which is fucking clean. And then just a plethora of coverage from being a water and fairy type. So, it even gets knockoff, which is cool. Like, Look at those fins. I guess it could knock you off. It has arms too, but whatever. We talking fins. Obviously, the Misty Surge is going to protect me from statuses for 5 turns at a time, as well as weakening the power of Dragon-type moves. Now, that may come into factor. There's been a lot of times where I've seen people take Tapu Fini and then they take a Dragon and build their team around it, and that doesn't really seem like something I want to do, because obviously having the Dragon typing weakened for 5 turns, it really hinders some of your team building. So I was thinking it'd be cool if I could pair this with something like Zygarde or Zypupper, or that's really about it, because I wanted the Dragon type that didn't really need to spam its Dragon type move. But that's another thing to keep in mind down the line. Now, next, in line with Brendan's team, I saw Hoopa Unbound. I picked the living fuck out of Hoopa Unbound. This man has, what is that, at least 43 arms? That's a lot of arms, man. That means those punch moves are doing a lot. But its stats are fucking ridiculous. You probably remember me using this 2 seasons ago in the PCP. I think it's 2 seasons ago. But its stats are just fucking ridiculous, man. It's bulky enough on the special side to live almost any hit. It is time for a week to bug, so we gotta watch out for those U-turns. But with Magician, you can actually do some pretty fun stuff. Talk to Austin about the fun of Magician plus Resist Berries. That shit is clean. Now, and being a Dark and Psychic type, its coverage is just, as well as being a legendary, it's just ridiculous, man. It gets all kinds of shit. I'm not going to sit here and read to you what it gets. Also, because I don't have my contacts in, so I can't read what it gets. I can just see the color. Like, I don't know, this one's grass? I don't know, man. But, this thing is a threat. Now, Tapu Fini plus Hoopa Unbound plus Mega Mawile, they all are lacking in kind of the speedy area. They're all pretty bulky in their own regard, but they all need help with speed. So from now on in the draft, I'm thinking I'm going to draft a Webs team. The best web setter, in my opinion, is going to be Araquanid, who we went ahead and picked up 4th round. Now, that might be a bit early to pick such a low-tier mon, but I really wanted to make sure that I got me a good fucking web setter, as well as it's really fucking strong, man. Araquanid does not fuck around. Water Bubble doubles the power of attack move of water moves. Can't be burned. It's just great, man. It can sit there and click liquidation with a choice band. It can set up sticky webs and magic coat stuff. It's just fucking such a good mon. I don't think I've ever gotten the chance to use it in Draft League. We use it on the ladder all the time, or at least we used to when I still laddered. But Araquanid is a fucking threat, man. So with web support, that makes Mega Mawile and Hoopa Unbound way more of a threat than they were in the first place, and I'm looking forward to that. Excuse me, I was fighting off a burp that entire sentence. Now, then I realized I need another Stealth Walker, because let's face it, Mega Mawile isn't much of a Stealth Walker. You're running SD3 attacks, or you're fucking wasting move slots. So, I also needed a ground type, seeing as how I had 2 fucking, 2 water types now, and also 2 fairy types, although they don't share any weaknesses, which is cool. So I went ahead and picked up Mamoswine. This thing, again, appreciates the ever-living fuck out of those webs. It gives me priority. It gives me another knockoff user. That dual stab combination of ground and ice is just fucking ridiculous to switch into. Like, you kind of just need like an Uxie or Mesprit on your team, and then it gets knockoff, you know. So it's a great mon, man. 130 base attack is nothing to sneer at, and it's pretty bulky too. It's got a couple useful abilities as well. Oblivious Can't Be Taunted, Snow Cloak for memes, and then Thick Fat, which is probably what you're running most of the time. But Mamoswine is a fantastic Pokemon. I love Mamoswine. That's Ray Romano. Also, I don't have these nicknames yet, at least all of them, but you'll see them in the battles. I think we're gonna upload this whole season, so it'll be lit. Next, I wanted some hazard removal that wasn't defog. So while I do already have defog Tapu Fini, I wanted to make sure I could spend stuff away, and that leaves Hitmonlee right here. You know, Hitmonlee, while getting Unburden, works well with Tapu Fini, gets Rapid Spin. I needed a fighting type, and this is a damn good fighting type. Look at that attack, 120. That does not fuck around. Hitmonlee also appreciates the living shit out of those webs. Makes it that much easier to just slap a life orb on this bitch, run reckless, and just click high jump kick 6 times, and things just die. Now, Hitmonlee's a cool fighting type because it's the only one of the Hitmons that gets knockoff, which is fucking cool. So that way you don't just lose to ghost types. You know, now in Gen 7.5 or whatever, Hitmonchan gets Throat Chop, and I know Hitmon Top's always gotten that Technician boosted Thief, but this is a real man's Hitmon right here. We out here, this is Bucky McBadbat, obviously, and he gets a lot of priority too. Hitmonlee is just a good all-around mon. I've drafted this thing time and time again, and I think it's gonna do me right once again. Next, I was looking at some electric types and they all kind of went, not really like, I didn't really have one in my mind per se, but there was a Jolteon on my logo, so I was like, maybe I'll get Jolteon. That boy went quick, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I got enough points to get one more, like, tier 1 mon, so we went ahead and picked up Thundy Eye. I've never used Thundy Eye in the format. It looks clean as hell, though. Those stats are very impressive. And I've used Thundy T, and the entire time I was using Thundy T, I was like, man, I wish this was a little bit faster. So this is basically the epitome of that. With Prankster, we are able to T-Wave anything that isn't an electric or ground type automatically, because, you know, priority. And then it's also pretty fucking fast, and it can nasty plot up, it can taunt, it can do all kinds of fun stuff. We can run dual dance if we want shit. So, also, I realized with this pick that defoggers were looking pretty good versus me, because they can just get rid of my webs, and Araquanid, while bulky, it doesn't really have any good recovery, so it's kind of hard to keep around the entire game. So if Araquanid goes down, then webs go down, right? So at least we can go ahead and run Defiant a couple weeks, and that way if someone does defog away my rocks, webs, all that shit, then we can at least get the +2 attack boost and start fucking shit up with Wild Charge. Oof. Good golly. I'm really excited to use this. I almost took Primeape, but then I realized Hitmonlee plus this looked a lot better. So, sorry 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, not today, but we got Thundurus in this bitch and he's looking clean. This man's, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and call this man Quinto Un, because Dragon Ball, right? And you are, make bad bet, you are Ray Romano, you are going to be Bubble Buddy. And I should probably stop doing nicknames mid-through, but you know what, we're nice and professional, so we're gonna go ahead and just stop that halfway through, and go right to Lanoon, which was my next pick. Now, if you know Cowpat, aka Cow, aka those are his only names, then you've seen this man use Lanoon over and over again, and just fucking destroy people. Lanoon, all you need is these 2 moves. Fucking GG. What are you gonna do? Let's move on. Next we got Kofag. I really wanted to make sure I had a spin blocker, i.e. any ghost type, and then I also realized that speed control was kind of looking like a bit of a theme of this team, so I wanted a good mon that could reliably set Trick Room. Not that Hoopa doesn't get Trick Room, but this mon, Trick Room is kind of its fucking thing. You know, it's not weak, and it's not frail, it's just slow. So, Kofag is disgusting, man. Honestly, I hate playing this thing, and I figured if it could help with my team, then I wouldn't have to play it, so it's 2 birds, 1 stoner, part 2, you know, the fucking sequel. So its defense is retarded, its special defense is passable, special attack appreciates the Calm Mind, and nasty plot boosts it can potentially get. And then Mummy being able to ruin people's abilities is always awesome, because a lot of Pokemon kind of rely on their ability. So, like if someone has, not Mega Mawile, but if someone had Mega Medicham versus me, then it's not going to look like a lot of fun for them, because your attack isn't going to be doubled once you touch me. So, that's a thing. Kofag is a thing, and this is going to be, I think we'll do this. Cryptocurrency. Lol. Remember that month where cryptocurrency was popular? Ha. Next, like I said, I wanted a dragon type that didn't have to rely on just the dragon typing if that Tapu Fini Misty Terrain was there, so we went ahead and picked up Turtonator. Now, Turtonator I used in the PASL, in that Tier 3 and below league. It was a lot of fun to use. Every time, like, every matchup, I would be like, alright, we run in Shell Smash, fuck it. And then I would be like, fuck, but I need to check to this, so we gotta run like a Salt Vest or like Citrus Berry or some kind of like bulky set. But Turtonator actually does a lot of stuff. Like, it's not the best mon, but for I believe it was a Tier 5. For a Tier 5 mon, covering 2 of my bases, giving me the Dragon type and the Fire type for those 2 cores, I think it really helps out the team. Also, an ability like Shell Armor, while it might not seem like it does much, it's always very reassuring to know that you're not going to get the entire shit crit out of you and just have your entire day ruined. Plus, if you get all your Fire Blasts and your Dragon Tails, it's a great mon. So this one's going to be hurtin' for a turton. I'm sorry, this is fucking terrible, but that shit's too funny to pass up. So, hurtin' for a turton, the Turtonator, gonna be on the team, and we're just gonna click Shell Smash and win. Next, we got Vileplume, aka Brain. You know, I actually think it was Brain Gotta Poop. So we got Brain Gotta Poop, the Vileplume, and it is looking like a fucking threat. People sleep on Vileplume, man. That's not a sleep powder joke. This is 110 base special attack from a tier 5 or tier 4 mon, whatever it usually is. That's ridiculous. This thing is fucking strong. Access to Sleep Powder, access to Leech Seed, and with this gen, access to Strength Sap, which is a fucking busted ass move. It's so gross. Whoever gave Vileplume Strength Sap? It's so gross. And obviously Chlorophyll as well as Effect Spore are very helpful in their own regard. But Vileplume's coverage is pretty damn good. Being a Gen 1 mon, it gets Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast. I know there's just two of the same things, but yeah, you know, it gets all kinds of stuff, man, and it's looking like a threat. I really am excited to use Vileplume. It has passable defenses on both sides, meaning that it can kind of wall on either side. You might have to invest more in one than the other to, you know, live those hits ahead of time, but it's a great mon, and Brain Gotta Poop, obviously. Now, last but not least, I just had 5 extra points, so I had to get a tier 5 mon. I covered all my bases. I got just about everything that I needed on my little draft checklist, and I figure we'll have some fun. And in the spirit of keeping speed control, we went ahead and picked up Ninjask as our last pick. Now, Ninjask, while not the greatest mon as you can tell by its stats, it has 160 base speed, man, so I'm already outspeeding everything. This means that, I mean, with 160 base speed mon with speed boost, you can't even really outspeed it with a Scarfer. You kind of just have to have something bulky enough to live 2 hits that can punish it, or a really, really strong priority user such as, you know, like an Ice Shard mon or Excel Rock, or maybe Bandit E-Speed or some shit like that. So, Ninjask, while it's kind of gimmicky, not kind of, it's very gimmicky, but with free Z moves, it looks fun. Also, I didn't mention that, but yes, this league does have free Z moves, so that's cool. But Speed Pass is not banned, so passing speed into, oh, I don't know, Thundurus, Mamoswine, Araquanid, Hoopa, Mega Mawile, all those things looking clean as fuck. And all those things that I could potentially pass to you all have very different sets of weaknesses. So if I am behind a sub and they break it and I'm at, you know, +4 speed or whatever, then it's a guessing game of whatever I'm going to pass into. Now if they have something like Roar or Dragon Tail, I'm kind of just dick McFucked, but whatever, we'll figure that out as the time comes. So Ninjask is a huge threat on this team in particular, I believe, and honestly it looks like a lot of fun to use. Plus, you know, fuck it, we might just slap a choice band on there and just start attacking and stuff one of these days, just for the lulz. Now I don't actually have a Ninjask nickname. I've never used it before, so I don't really have one for it, and I was kind of thinking of one in the draft and I already forgot what it was, so fuck it. But we'll deal with that one later. This one, Hoopa, is gonna be a great one. Spoople! Tapu Fini, never used Fini before, so I don't have a Fini nickname. Mega Mawile, I have a couple that I'm debating on, so we'll leave this one blank as well. So, Mega Mawile, Tapu Fini, and Ninjask. If you have good nicknames for those 3 mons, let me know down below. Honestly, that's the most important part of this video, is these nicknames, so go ahead and let me know down below, and I'll be working on that in the meantime. Week 1, I believe, starts on the 14th, so you can expect an upload probably sometime in that week of some sort. I don't know when I'll get the battle done, but this is going to be kind of a more funsies league. I think we're definitely going to still, we're not just going to meme, but definitely going to take more time, put more effort into the PCL, which is the Wi-Fi league, which takes a little more effort than this because this is a showdown league. So I think it's going to be a good balance of fun to competitiveness, and there's a lot of cool people in here. A couple people that I've played before, a couple people that I know from random other people's like front offices and whatnot. So it's looking like fun. If I remember, I don't know how many people upload this league, but I'll try to get people's like YouTube links and shit, if that's a thing. We'll see. I don't know. I'm also super lazy, and I always forget everything, so it probably won't happen. But it's the thought that counts, right? So go ahead and like, go ahead, subscribe, do all that bullshit, and we'll see you guys for week 1. Bye forever.